Good day and thank you for joining the Sage 1 Payroll webinar. My name is Oscar Sikudu and I will be with you to cover the following topics. The Employment Tax Incentive would be the first topic. Sage Pay would be our second topic. And lastly, the ACB, which will be our last topic. Thanks once again for joining us. And I will therefore begin with the first thing, which is the ETI, the Employment Tax Incentive. To work on the Employment Tax Incentive, you will need to firstly have an employee, and within your company, you would then go to the relevant cycle, the pay cycle. Once in the pay cycle, you may add an employee from your dashboard. Let's say employee is employee number 2, and then that's Miss L. Let's say we're dealing with Linda. And let's say the surname is Frankel. And then let's say they were born. Remember, the employment tax incentive looks at the youth, so we'll look at a more relevant date range. Let's say 1999, February 2nd. Let's say it's 18 years old. Perhaps let me reduce this to 1998 perhaps. So now the employee is 19. He will capture the rest of the details as spoken about in our previous webinars. Then we will look at the ETI, where we'll say this employee started working on the 1st of March as maybe a clerk. And then you can enter departments should it be necessary. You will tell the system tax using statutory tables. You will then move to the next tab, which is the ETI. You can tell the system that they are being paid a prescribed minimum wage, let's say of 45 rands per hour. I'll tell the system that based on the facts here on the employment tax incentive, you would be given a formula to say that this employee must work an average of 40 hours a week, and the system will calculate for us the minimum wage, and then the employees has fixed hours based on the contract, and the earnings making up this employee's wage are, and you can select what makes up the wage of this employee. Then you can check if you're in a special economic zone, whether you're in a designated industry, and then whether if this is not a connected person or not, and if the domestic worker, remember, not eligible, or a labor broker, then the rate per hour, remember, it's already there up there. And the employee has an ID number. Remember, they must have an SA valid ID number. And then as you can see, you will then tell the system that when has the company been qualifying for ETI. So let's say since we are in this current years, we will check these options where we've been qualifying for ETI. Then we would then go next. Remember, we said that the hourly rate for the employee would be 45 rands. The system will calculate the rest for us. And then we would then finish. Now the applicability of the ETI would be that when we pay payee monthly, then we will get an ETI rebate, allowing us as the entity to pay less in payee based on this rebate, based on the setup that we have here and when we've been eligible to use the ETI. Then as you can see, we will have then the employees payslip. And looking through our transactions, we'll see exactly the year-to-date transactions for this employee, and you can see there is that ETI remuneration of 7,800 being reflected. And then based on that, the company will then, once they submit payee on a month-to-month basis, and they will claim their ETI rebate. Remember, this is not to the benefit of the employee, but the benefit of the employer. The next thing that we will then look at is what we call Sage Pay. Now, there comes a time when we have to pay the employees either weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. Then we will go on to our Sage Pay. With Sage Pay, you will need to have a Sage Pay account. They will give you an account number, a service key number, and a salary payment service key. Based on that, then you would be able then to export your monthly batch of the employees. That batch would be the figures that need to be paid on, the net pays. Then you will upload this to your Sage 1 account by simply submitting. So you must first export, then submit. Once you submit, then you will authorize the payment on your Sage Pay account, which you will log in online and release the funds. Here you will be able to see your history, and then you will also see if Sage Connected Services is running. So you will then log in here for your Sage Pay username, the password, and the PIN. Then once you've released the funds, upon submitting, you will then log on to Sage Pay, release the funds, and you must ensure that there must be funds in your Sage Pay account. That's the first option. And then the second option is the ACB. So again, on Payroll, on ACB, you would first need to do the setup. While we wait for the connection to finish, just please note that with Sage Pay, you would need to have an account with Sage Pay to make use of the service. On the ACB setup, you would then go and select a layout based on the bank that you use. Let's say we use Standard Bank Online. You will capture the company code and the report language, and we save. And that's it. That's the setup being done. Next thing, you would go to export, which again is an option under Payroll ACB export. You would then select a statement reference, and then once you've got this, you will then process the ACB. Then from here, you will have as a list the employee that needs to be paid, the account type that you would have captured when you created the employee, the branch code, and the account number and the amount to be paid. Once you're done with this, then you will download the file. Once you've downloaded the file, you will see it will be in TXT format, and this file you will then upload to your Standard Bank online banking, and then you will then release the funds accordingly. The file looks more or less like this. And once you're happy with what's on this document, remember to upload. I wouldn't recommend changing any of the figures on the TXT file. You can also export to PDF so that you can also keep record of what you have uploaded in PDF format. And once you're done with such, you will then go to your online profile to then release the funds. And as you can see, this is how the PDF would look like of the file. With that being said, that marks the end of this session. In this session, we've covered the following topics: the ETI when creating the employee. Number 2, we've looked at Sage Pay, helps us to pay our salaries using our Sage Pay account, and then the ACB, which we've seen a similar setup, and then how to export the file to the different banks. Thank you once again for your time, and goodbye.